May 16, 2024. I'm Nika Lewis. Thanks so much for making it CVM News at noon. The sentencing of convicted murderer Everton Beachy Stout MacDonald was today postponed in the Supreme Court. It's understood this is due to the presiding judge being unavailable. The 69-year-old Portland businessman, who is accused of orchestrating the murder of his second wife, Tonia MacDonald, in July 2020, was found guilty by a 7-member jury in March. His co-accused, 39-year-old Oscar Barnes, was dealt the same card. The men will be sentenced on September 19 this year. We will continue to track that story. Now, a 17-year-old boy was charged with murder and wounding with intent following Monday's stabbing of 20-year-old Catholic College of Mandeville student Akeelia White. His identity is being withheld due to his age. Reports from the Mandeville police are that at around midday, an argument developed at the school between the deceased and the accused. The accused reportedly left the classroom and returned with a knife, which he later used to inflict wounds to White's upper body. A male student was also injured after attempting to intervene. The accused was arrested soon after the incident. He is expected to appear in the Mandeville Parish Court on Tuesday, June 4. 4 lives have been lost in a series of tragic road accidents over the past month, and that's according to the island's Traffic Analysis Unit. 3 separate fatal collisions occurred across Manchester, St. Anne and St. Catharines South. The first incident happened in Manchester on Wednesday, April 17, at around noon. A head-on collision between a Nissan motor vehicle and a motorcycle on Trinity Main Road sent a 25-year-old to the hospital, where he died 9 days later. On Tuesday, May 14, a devastating accident in St. Anne claimed another life. This one along the Douglas Castle Main Road, where a black 2012 Nissan Caravan motor truck lost control, veered left and struck a pedestrian standing on the shoulder before crashing into another vehicle. The pedestrian, a 26-year-old man, did not survive. The next day, Wednesday, May 15, tragedy struck again in St. Catharines South at around 5 p.m. Now, yesterday, a motor truck overturned into a ravine near the Old Harbour exit on the P.J. Patterson Highway. The driver and 3 passengers were rushed to the Spanish Town Hospital, but sadly, 2 passengers aged 34 and 20 died from their injuries. Authorities are urging all drivers to exercise extreme caution and adhere to traffic laws to prevent further loss of life. Investigations into these accidents are ongoing. Now, the government's public sector debate competition is one to look forward to. It's rather interesting, it's believed, as it features issues that are quite topical in the country. From crime and violence to poverty, public sector workers use the opportunity to air their opinions. Trisha Gay Kelly has the details.
The public sector debate competition has become a significant calendar event for the government, serving as a platform to engage in constructive dialogue and brainstorm potential solutions to the nation's issues. The event is now in its 3rd staging under the Ministry of Finance and Public Service. Minister Nigel Clark says it's an opportunity to witness the thought process of various individuals.
The debate competition allows for the value of inclusivity to reign and reign supreme, because you're going to hear very different ideas coming across the debate table. Even members of the same team would approach the problem in different ways. You're going to hear opposing points of view and diverse perspectives.
But each year, the numbers grow as more entities express interest in the competition. Organizer for the debate's executive director at the Transformation Implementation Unit, TIU, Maria Thompson Walters, says her team has had to make exceptions to facilitate more entrants.
And our cutoff is 20 teams. This year, with the amount of teams that reached out, the amount of organizations that reached out, we had to increase that. So this year we're at 26 teams. And I shudder to think what next year is going to bring us.
But the ultimate goal is to find solutions to Jamaica's major issues. Dr. Clark says this can be achieved by viewing the country's affairs through the eyes of the people.
For our public service to operate at the level that we need it to operate, we need diversity to flourish, and we need to be able to listen to the points of view of different persons and have all of those perspectives be brought into consideration.
The competition begins in May and ends July. Currently, it's facilitated only under the Finance Ministry. The TIU's hope is to expand the competition to include other areas of the public sector. Trisha Gay Kelly, CVM News.
A major initiative is underway to reduce the region's food import bill by 25% by the year 2025. The focus is on the poultry value chain, which plays a crucial role in our food security and economic stability. The strategy involves boosting production and productivity through targeted investments, digitization, and the adoption of new technologies. Poultry meat is a staple in the region, accounting for over 80% of all protein consumption. However, it's also the highest imported meat product, with annual imports totaling $149 million. The OECS member states alone import poultry worth $54.5 million. In Jamaica, the situation is particularly telling. As of 2022, 75% of hatching eggs were imported. Jamaica Broilers is the only local company with a hatchery, meeting just 40% of the country's fertile egg needs. Joseph Cox, Assistant Secretary General for Economic Integration, Innovation and Development at the CARICOM Secretariat, addressed these challenges and opportunities at the Caribbean Poultry Association's 7th International Technical Symposium in Trinidad and Tobago.
In order to achieve the requisite transformation of the regional poultry sector, we must focus on retooling and reinvestment and providing greater access to affordable capital and financing, including trade financing, which will incentivize the entrepreneurial classes to undertake the risks that necessarily accompanies economic progress. However, the region continues to perform suboptimally, with indicators for registering property, access to credit, and the cost of finance being perennial problems. Indeed, measures to tackle high interest rates in the Caribbean could include improving the reformation of the respective banking acts to afford a greater degree of flexibility in terms of collateral requirements and a basic understanding of the intricacies of agricultural and manufacturing sectors, which could potentially reduce information asymmetry and risk. Collateral requirements as high as 185% of the total loan value or the line of credit to obtain funding remains a major constraint to business within the region. In fact, the rejection rates for loan application across the region remain strikingly high on average, which, according to one of our multilateral development partners, only 18% of firms applying for credit have been successful.
We take a quick break, but CVM News at Noon continues in a moment.
See the thing there, Bridging. Boss, me not drive no vehicle with no white plate for carrying no passenger. Nah, man, everything Chris Bridging. The vehicle have registration, fitness, and insurance.
Well, it might have all of that. But what about road license and PPV insurance? Me just want to know say my thing legit. So me not have to play no puss and dog with the law. You get what me say, boss?
Operators of illegal taxis. Under Section 61 of the Road Traffic Act, if you're caught operating illegal public transport, the vehicle may be seized, and upon conviction, you could be fined up to $125,000. Further, the owner of the vehicle may be charged for aiding and abetting the offense. Legalize your activities now. A message from the Transport Authority, regulating with vision.
Harry, how was school?
It was really good, but I'm really hungry. Can we get some juicy patties?
Sure we can. We never see a boil up patty like you.
Hey son, you good?
No, Dad. God, I'm starving. Can we get some juicy patties?
Celebrating moms everywhere.
Look who we have in the cut.
No, today episode I got nice. Legends, Senator,
My long-time brethren.
the great, all-star,
The king.
and the man himself.
Salute.
You know, as man, we're not too go as specialist.
And that's the pinnacle of the problem.
We want some new era.
Do what you love and you never work a day in your life. Lie.
You work till a week.
It was pandemonium.
Country people can relate to me I talk about. What you think about me no matter, you know. What matter to me is what me think about myself.
Man United, I don't care what man want to say.
You know, man.
Yeah, man.
You know, man.
You finished?
Yes, we finished.
The Cut is brought to you by Flo and Guinness.
Welcome back. It's now time for our discussion segment. However, several lives have been lost in a series of tragic road accidents over the past month. And that's according to the island's Traffic Analysis Unit. 3 separate fatal collisions occurred across Manchester, St. Anne and St. Catharines South. That's the police division. And these incidents come amid concerns that safety on our nation roads are being neglected, or safety is being neglected rather, which some say have become too blood-stained. The roadways are drenched. So joining us now to discuss this and more is retired Senior Superintendent of Police, Radcliffe Lewis. He's on phone. Welcome, Officer Lewis.
Right. Good afternoon to you and your listeners and viewers.
Thank you so much. So we really have to discuss these issues because we really want to understand what are the main factors contributing to the recent increase in road accidents, especially fatal accidents.
Well, the drivers are not driving as they ought to be. Most of these fatal accidents, are caused through careless driving, dangerous driving, and not taking due care and attention to the practicing of driving safely. And especially with vehicles with passengers, they are not taking due care and attention as it relates to their passengers. So basically, that is what is driving up the accident and overtaking, improper overtaking. And what has happened is that the drivers now, they have no respect. They have no respect for the white line. And as you know, the police cannot be everywhere. So they will have to depend on certain infrastructure that is built in on our roadways that is to be followed by drivers, and they are not doing it. So what I am recommending that they abandon NWA, National Work Agency, the National Road Safety Council, ITA, Transport Authority, and to a lesser extent, Tax Administration of Jamaica. What they must do is to abandon the white line and paint it now with yellow line, with simple means, and that must be followed or before you educate the drivers as to why the road is now being painted yellow.
All right.
Yes.
Officer Lewis, just hang on to those thoughts because we'll come and pick them up back right after a quick break. We'll be right back with you.
Okay.
Is you can live life to the fullest with HIV. This time signal is brought to you by the Ministry of Health and Wellness. The time is
12:15.
Welcome back to CVM News at Noon. We're talking road safety. We have retired Senior Superintendent of Police. He's a traffic man himself, Radcliffe Lewis. Welcome back, Officer Lewis.
To mark the road yellow and to everyone, continuous and white line. Then you paint them yellow now and you let the drivers know that once they are caught overtaking when there is an unbroken yellow line, the measure will be draconian. So you have to make sure you tell the motorist that.
So why change the color? Because it's a mindset, it seems. It's not about the color.
Yeah, the color is that, let us say something to you. You would park your car along a sidewalk where you see mark yellow?
No, I wouldn't.
Would you park your car there?
No, sir.
Why?
Well, that is a breach.
Because you respect the yellow line.
Yes.
If it was a white line, you would have parked it there. Not true?
That is true.
That is right. So when you paint it yellow, the yellow line is more respected worldwide. And then you can deal with the situation.
So
that is one of the...
You see that as one of the difficulties in why we're having road safety challenges. It's part of the culture, you're saying?
Yes,
Okay.
part of the culture. They have no respect for the white line anymore.
Okay, well, what immediate actions? Yeah, because if there's enforcement, wouldn't the white line be respected overall? And let's also talk about the Traffic Act. Aren't those measures put in place to ensure people who, regardless of respect, abide?
Yes, but they're not abiding by the law because the police is not there. So you have to put things, you have to make sure that the infrastructure is there for them to follow. And if they don't follow, then you deal with it in a draconian way. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay.
You're going to want more road signs. You're going to want signage too, and you're going to want a lot of things. And for arguments here, let me tell you something. We have a lot of accidents on the airport road. For the longest while, we have not had any accident out there.
That's along the stretch to Norman Manley International.
My recommendation is from Harborview to the roundabout at the airport. You put concrete separation along the roadway, separate the line so that you will never have any more head-on accidents along the airport main road. The only thing you can have, people scraping their vehicles along the concrete barriers. That's all the accident you will have. But head-on accident is totally eliminated. You won't have that along the airport road, and that is one road that accident usually have. Well, thank God for the longest while we have not had any accident or the head-on accident.
Right.
So it's something like that you have to put in because the drivers. Let me give you something. I can tell you something. This program here cannot vent everything as it relates to road safety. You can only talk for 5 minutes, and that sometimes to me like a foolishness I am doing here now. The other day I was driving along the highway, going to Mayfair. And when I look, I see a smoke coming out of a car. I thought that the car caught fire. You know what the men were inside there doing?
No.
Smoking